JBT Boxing. Who wanted the baddest? Let's see.
Oh, we boxing? Yeah, we boxing. I need that belt like it ain't no other option. So we punching and weaving and blocking. Defeat ain't an option. Let them know. Shoot a video, put it on BVO. Let them know. Every time I punch, it's a heavy blow. BVO, bound to hit like bricks cause it was set in stone. Let them know. I ain't getting body, but I'ma hit this flow. Yeah, way more than a show. This is BVO. This how it's finna go. I'ma throw some jabs. Make them think my punch is weaker than I hook his ass. This the ring, not the kitchen, but I'ma cook his ass. Me and him, that's the pro versus the rookie class. All my life I had to fight, but I still love it. Me and BVO got moves that you can't steal from us. And these haters be throwing shots, but I don't feel nothing. I ain't gonna lie, they alright, but we a little rough. We're stepping for the title and face your rival. This ain't no little tussle. Bet I be no bird, being chicken to get your feathers ruffled. Footwork, I'm dancing around my opponent like the Cupid shuffle. Good work, bodies hit the flow, they can't move a muscle. The upside is we ain't in the streets shooting and shooting up. Catch me in the ring, sticking, moving and suited up. I know everybody can eat, but I ain't full enough. Oh, you said it's smoking some beef? I guess I'm pulling up. Oh, we boxing? Yeah, we boxing. I need that belt like it ain't no other option. So we punching and weaving and blocking. Defeat ain't an option. Let them know. Shoot a video, put it on BVO. Let them know. Every time I punch, it's a heavy blow. BVO, bound to hit like bricks cause it was set in stone. Let them know. I ain't getting body, but I'ma hit this flow. Yeah, way more than a show. This is BVO.
What's going on? What's going on? BVO look like he having some technical difficulties.
For our viewers who don't know, tell them who the original man is.
The original man is the Asiatic black man. He's the maker. He's the owner. He's the cream of planet Earth. He's father of civilization and God of this universe, Sarit. And there's only one God.
Yo, what's up? It's your boy BVO Boxing, man. Salute to my brother, my brother Prize, man. I just sent those over to you. Check your IG, man. I just sent those questions over to you. Sorry we're getting having little technical difficulties, but we're here today, man. And I don't know what D Free got on his head, but he should take it off, man. Burn it. I don't know what that is.
It's called it's a W for winner.
I don't think that's no Browns hat, but we'll take it.
Nah, it ain't no Browns hat. Browns ain't no winners.
Hold on. We the home of Jim Brown. Anyway, go ahead. I'm gonna let my man Prize. I said he got the week.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I don't even want to argue with DF about that hat. But anyway, more importantly, today's show is sponsored by Smoke Shop. If you're in the Cleveland, Akron area, pull up, get some of that, some of that good. You know what I'm saying? For all your needs. So, pull up. Y'all ready to get right into it?
Yep.
For sure.
All right. D3, what grade letter would you give Terrence Crawford?
I give Terrence Crawford a C level.
Damn.
It was a C. This man on a lot of people pound for pound list as 1 or 2. This man is a multi-division champion. This man is 2-time undisputed. Some people say he's the best fighter in the sport of boxing today. And the man, he had problems with his timing. He had problems with his punch placement, and he struggled in that fight. For a fighter that only had 11 professional fights, I'm speaking for a lot of us. A lot of us had Terrence Crawford washing this dude. A lot of us had Terrence Crawford possibly knocking this dude out.
I know I did.
And to see Terrence Crawford struggle the way he did with a guy that only had 11 professional fights, it was kind of surprising. So I got to give him a C because I expected a lot more for Terrence Crawford. And like I said before, when we did the Sunday show, it could be the fact that we underestimated Magnumov, or it could have been the ring rust from Terrence Crawford and he's starting to show his age. But either way, I have to give him a C because that's not what I expected from quote unquote the best fighter in the sport of boxing.
Okay, that's a good point. D Free, you was cooking right there. BVO, what you give him? What's Terrence Crawford's performance? This is great.
Again, the Puerto Rican was way off base. Salute to my brother Bentley, man. He said the fight shows me Crawford can't hang it. Yeah, that's true. But salute to my man Marky Dan, salute to my man Bentley. But I'll say this, man. It just shows you that Terrence Crawford is not who people thought he was. I mean, he beat a guy in salute to Melon Queen. I sent you the information. But uh he just showed you that he's not that guy, and that you know he has lost a step, and now you see why he hasn't fought Virgil Ortiz, or you see he hasn't fought Teofimo Lopez. I mean, the guy just is not what he used to be. So I just Terrence Crawford, I mean, he just showed you he's not what he once was. And for a guy like Madrimov with 10 fights to give you that much of an issue, we kind of understand why you lock, Teofimo Lopez out of from calling you out, because we know what time it is.
Just stop.
Dude's a coward, man.
Stick with the question. I give it a B minus.
The Melanie Queen.
I expected him to go in there and beat this guy up. I didn't know about a stoppage. I didn't care about that, but I thought he would dominate, and But the reason I give him a B minus is because, he showed the heart of a champion. He showed you that, okay, maybe we all did. And Free, you're right. You spoke for me when you said we underestimated him, because you can go back and hear me underestimate him. I ain't afraid to say I did. And that'll be the last time I probably do that. But
Well,
with
that
that
won't be the
being
last
said,
time, because you know how you do when it comes to somebody that's not black.
Hold on.
They're garbage. You know how you
The
get down.
reason Terrence Crawford, we underestimated him, and the guy was a little bit better
Oh,
than
no
what
problem,
we
Queen.
he was a little bit better than what we was. He had a herky jerky style that was just in Bud timing, like Free said, wasn't all the way there. Possibly could be the ring rust. It could be. Maybe it's not. But nevertheless, it happened. But I thought when the time got rough, he showed the heart of a true champion. And in those championship rounds, it's where you get the 115, 113 scorecard. 7 rounds to 5 for who don't know. That's the right score. We expected Bud to dominate, so people want to just piss all on his performance. And we're not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. I think his performance was solid, and, it was a lot of pressure on him. And he came through. It was a tough fight. Did y'all see the Madrimav's face? Okay. So, I mean, Terrence Crawford, he had to go in there and dig down deep and show the young bulls how you win a fight like that. And that's why I give him a B minus. But we can move on.
I think you did what you always do, man. When it's not a black fighter, you gonna underestimate and think they can't do nothing. I mean, I know that's how you do it, but at the end of the day, man, Bud Crawford, like I said, my letter grade would be an F. You don't. If that was Iron Man Charlo, he would have stopped him.
An F. An F.
Yeah, F.
Get out of here.
F. That's my opinion. Shout out to Free, man. That's my opinion, man. Salute to my brother Just Do. I think when you go into a fight like that, of course you could expect more. But I think the thing that I am as a boxing fan, that kind of sucks a little bit, is that I'm kind of over the whole thing of I'm knocking off ring rust. I think that's this whole generation's problem. Everybody wants to say I'm knocking off ring rust, and I think like I'm just kind of over that. As a fan and a consumer of the sport, I don't want to see nobody else keep telling me that they having an issue with ring rust. So that's just my thing.
He didn't say that. I was just saying, because Free made a statement that maybe it was ring rust, and that's I was just basically saying the same thing. Like maybe it was, maybe it wasn't. I don't know.
No, I'm not saying I was not saying you wasn't. I'm not saying you were saying it. I'm just saying I just kind of over that excuse as a whole. No problem.
No doubt. I mean, that's fine.
I know. I mean, BVO wants to give him a F because BVO wants to hate. And like I said, just about everybody that knows me know I ain't no Bud Crawford fan. But I'm not saying he had no F. But like I said, I give it a C because the one thing that we always gave Bud Crawford was the first 4 rounds quote unquote collecting data, and
Mm-hmm.
he's going to figure the opponent out. Well, he couldn't do that this fight. He really struggled with his punch placement and his
Just
timing.
do. Oh my God.
And I like I said, because a lot of people rank him as the best fighter in the sport of boxing today, with a guy that only had 11 professional fights, you were supposed to do better than that. Now,
Man,
Mm-hmm.
you
like I
make
said,
good points, D Free.
Magnumov was a gamed opponent, and
Mm-hmm.
he gave Bud Crawford all he could handle. Um, but at the same token, you've been in this game long enough. You saw what everybody tells me. He's been in there with all types of fighters.
Mm-hmm.
This was the
That's
argument
what I
that Price,
said. That's what I said to
this is the
you.
argument Price had. He said
Mm-hmm.
Terrence Crawford seen fighters like Magnumov. Magnumov never seen a fighter like Terrence Crawford. Well, it didn't show. It didn't show on Saturday. It
You're
showed
right.
like Magnumov been in there with guys like Terrence Crawford. Like what I said, we don't know everybody that he fought because he only had 11
But
fights.
Magamov, he
People
didn't
don't
win
know.
the championship rounds where it counted.
I mean,
Terrence Crawford experience kicked in.
the championship rounds was the only rounds that was significantly one sided. I could say for sure Terrence Crawford won those championship rounds. But the other rounds, they were
Nah, Free. There were some rounds where Terrence Crawford was landing
in
them
your
four
opinion,
pieces and stuff. We
in
thought
your
he won
opinion,
those rounds. We even
in
said
your
he won them
in,
rounds.
in your opinion,
How
in
many
your
rounds
opinion,
you think
I'm
you
saying
had it a draw?
I had it a draw going into the championship rounds. But like I said, those rounds was close. So you can score them however you want to score them. They was close rounds. They
Mm-hmm.
was the only rounds that was clearly one sided, in my opinion, was the 11th and 12th. The other 10 rounds, those go either way, however you saw the fight. That's why I had it
So
a
you
draw.
gave him. So you had it a draw.
Prize. Did I say anything
I
about
didn't
what
hear
you
you.
said? Hey, I just
So
said you can look at those first 10 rounds and score it either way, depending on how you saw it. What are you looking for? You could score it either way. That's why I had it a draw. The way I saw it, it was 5-5 going into the 11th round. The 11th and 12th was the only rounds that I saw where Bud clearly won those two rounds. Those other 10 rounds, you could have scored it some of those rounds for Bud. You could have scored some of those rounds for Magnumov. It all depends on what you was looking for when you was watching those
and
other.
that's why the judges came up with 7 rounds to
I,
5.
I don't care about that. I didn't say Bud lost.
That's the right
I didn't
score.
say Bud lost.
I'm not saying you're not. I'm just saying that's the right score.
I'll say this. I'm gonna read just dude comment in 1 second, but all jokes aside, Bud
Right.
did
That's what I
win.
got at Just Do
I,
B
I would
minus.
say this though. I will say that Crawford did win the 10th, 11th, and 12th round, pretty handily. He came on strong at the end, where I felt like the dream kind of faded a little bit. But he took a lot of punishment. He said, Just Do said B minus for me. I think that was the first time Bud faced an opponent with that style as a professional, despite what his trainer said. And that's a good point too. I think that when you are fighting these European guys, these guys are professionals. I mean, they're amateur professionals. 300 fights. I mean, that's quite a bit. That's quite a few fights, man, to be having before a fight, and it just showed. And he wasn't fooled by a lot of the stuff that Bud does, because Bud is a master of the cat and mouse game. He takes his time. He likes to slow it up, very similar to Bernard Hopkins. He controls the pace of the fight, and he kind of makes you fight at his pace. Because we never ever seen Madrimov throw one punch at a time. The reason you throw one punch at a time with a guy like Bud Crawford is because Bud Crawford can punch when you punch. He punches in between punches, which we've seen uh, pretty heavy when he fought Errol Spence. So that being said, it Terrence Crawford, I mean, I would say he lost a step, but he definitely went in there and he won. Only reason I say a F performance is because I'm talking about the whole show. But on the actual ring itself, I mean, I would have to probably give him a C plus, C minus, because he really did a great job of controlling the fight. Because I watched a couple fights
So now you
on the
moonwalking
dream.
after you just said he was an F a little
Oh,
while ago. Now you go
I'm giving. I'm
moonwalking.
listen. That's what I'm getting. That's what I'm saying. I
Now you
think that
moonwalking.
that's what I'll say. I was joking at first, but I'm saying this: that the way That's a good point that Just made about him being a counterpuncher. I never seen him. I've never seen Dream throw one punch at a time. So that's why I said it was very Bernard Hopkins like, where he controlled the pace. And for the 10th, 11th, and 12th round, he just dominated the fight, and that's kind of where he won. I think before then it might have been a draw. Speaking to what D Free said, because the Puerto Rican makes a lot of sense that Majimov was a little bit tricky, but then again, if you're still fighting Bud's pace, Bud's style, it's going to make you hesitant, and it's going to make you lose a lot of rounds that you probably shouldn't lose. So that being said, like I said, I'll give Bud a C plus. But we go to our next question. My bad for being so long winded. Go ahead.
No, that's all good. Did Terrence, you can go first on this one since you want to talk. Did Terrence Crawford?
Go ahead.
Did Terrence Crawford? Did he show his age in that fight? Did he show his age?
I would say Father Time is undefeated, and I would say maybe Father Time tapped him on the shoulder a little bit, but just what happens whenever you get in the ring with a guy who's very, very skilled, and a guy who can match you, and a guy who's going to be safe. My man just said the pace of the fight was more of Bud pace.
Yeah,
I mean that's what I said. He controlled the
that's a
pace.
fact.
It was
That
like I
guy
said,
was doing a lot of feints and nothing behind it. A lot
yeah,
of herky jerky.
and that's something that really gave salute the Melon Queen. Definitely don't forget to smash the like button. There's a goofball that says this, and I love it. Ring my doorbell before you come in. Wipe your feet off at the door. Please ring my doorbell before you come in. Please smash that appreciation button. I would say that the thing that's so crazy when you talk about Bud showing his age, we didn't see a lot of that athleticism. He just has gotten to me to be a lot like Bernard. He's very kind of slow and methodical now. Takes his time, almost rocks you to sleep like a baby, and it's just, I mean, just to get to what we probably want to talk about, I'm sure everybody's seen this. There's a reason why Bud Crawford is not going to fight a guy like Boots Ennis or, a two-time lineal champion like Teofimo Lopez, because he really is not what he once was. And at this point, you can kind of see he's trying to cash out because, I mean, he looked old. He looked old. Don't get me wrong, he won, but I mean, that's not the Terrence Crawford we seen 5-6 years ago. Anyway, go ahead, Free.
Nobody is like the fat 5-6 years ago what they are today.
I'm gonna say no. Terrence Crawford didn't look like his age. He didn't look like he was showing his age. I think, like I said, I really believe that ring rust had to play a part in it. And the fact that this guy was game. He was game. He was a gamed individual. He was tricky. He kept throwing feints at Bud that would keep Bud off guard. Um, the reason why I say Bud didn't show his age, because I don't remember the last time I saw Bud moving around the ring the way he did. Bud was on his toe, moving around the ring. Bud usually stands right there in the pocket. So nah, he didn't show his age. I just think the opponent was game, and he kept Terrence honest. Terrence wasn't able to set him up with combinations like he normally does, because he kept throwing feints at Terrence. Terrence didn't know when he was going to throw a shot. So, no, he didn't show his age.
I don't think he showed his age either, Free. I feel like, the guy was just a little awkward, and like you said, Bud was moving around like that postal fight a little bit. That reminded me of that a little bit, but the way he was moving. But other than that, the way he did, he didn't look like he was damaged goods after 12. He looked fine. You know what I mean? He didn't look too tired, But I would like to see him not wait around like a year. I'd like to see Bud, right back. You know what I'm saying? Just fight somebody, man. You know what I'm saying? To stay active. That's my thing with Terrence Crawford. But he didn't look his age though. I thought he looked all right.
Yeah. Go ahead, my brother. I know I've got another couple questions.
This question, I don't know who. Like, I don't even know if I want to read.
What's going on, Crush?
Crush on
What's happening?
Well, let's
you did Crush?
let's spin it real quick for Crush. Let's go back to the last question.
Hey, you can start with the next question you was going to, then you can get back to the others that you already had.
since
Yeah.
this question is, I'm gonna ask you first this question, Crush. Why did Crawford security block Tio from stepping to Crawford? I'll
Who?
let Crush. I'll let Crush handle this.
Say that again. Like, don't
I gotta
repeat
read it
yourself.
again.
But say it again. I
I
heard you.
gotta.
I'm being sarcastic
I
because
gotta read it again. No, I am too.
I'm not even trying to go there. Ain't
Mm-hmm.
nobody was blocking nobody from no goddamn
Lopez.
Lopez, man. This dude always coming on here with his wet dream about T.O. fighting Crawford, which T.O. does nothing for Crawford's career. Different weight classes. We know this. I don't know, BVO. I just want you to get over this
Brother.
wet fantasy. He keep paying in the bed every night thinking about T.O. and Crawford. Look, man, it ain't going to happen. It's never going to happen. If it was to happen, T.O. be done in 2 rounds. He's not on the same level as that guy. You need to take your favorite fighter, and he need to worry about his own weight class, man. You got to stop bringing this nonsense into good shows and cooks. Why you always got to add this guy to something? We was having a great cook, and you got to bring this dude up like they always keep on bringing up Elvis. Well, he ain't great like people think Elvis was. Don't be bringing T.O. up, man. I'm gonna have to call you on the back end to see if you getting cut a little check, because you keep talking this T.O. stuff a little too much in conversations that don't involve T.O. T.O. ain't got nothing going on right now but dancing, rent free in your head because you got a crush on T.O. Let's just have a cook without this goddamn dude. T.O. dude, man. He ain't getting no fight with corporate BVO. Like, stop it with the Fantasy Island, man. Stop it. You just turned the grade A cook into a F because you got to always slide T.O. in there, man. I'm gonna call you on the back end, and then I'm gonna send a frogman at T.O. I'm gonna have to get y'all together to find out what's going on with this fascination. All right. Other than that, man, that ain't happened, prior. So go on to your next question, man. We not gonna do this. We're
No,
not
we
gonna
we
do
gonna answer the question. Go ahead.
D3.
Um, Bud is not blocking no daggone T.O., man. T.O. is at 140. If the man wants to fight Bud, move up, become a mandatory at 54, you can fight him. But right now, you at 40. What do you have to offer Bud? Bud is looking for big paydays. Fighting you was not a big payday for Bud. Bud is looking for championship. Fighting you was not a championship. So he has nothing to offer Bud at this point in time. Bud is the 2 classes above T.O. T.O. is not in that era with Bud. Bud Bud gets no praise out beating T.O. The only praise goes is if T.O. somehow find God and beat Bud. But if Bud beats T.O., who's gonna give Bud credit for beating T.O.? Nobody.
nobody.
Nobody. He's not gonna get credit. The man is at 140. He moves up to. It's the same thing if Bud moves up 2 weight classes and fight Canelo. Canelo not gonna get no credit for beating Bud because Bud is too small. Bud will get credit for beating Canelo, but Canelo won't get credit for beating Bud. We'll say, yeah, he beat Bud. We could put that on his resume, but they're gonna be like, that man was fighting at 40s at 54. And he moved up to 68 and fight the same way we talked about Jamel. Nobody gave Canelo credit for beating Jamel. We was talking about how Jamel stunk up the place when he got in the ring. We ain't talk about how good Canelo did by beating Jamel. So he don't get no credit by fighting T.O. There's nothing to gain from fighting T.O.
Nothing.
I'll say this.
All
I'll
right.
say this.
Well,
This is what you get when guys are biased. Look at my brother, Boxer Scholar pulling up. But when people are biased and they have their own agenda and narrative they're trying to push, you get stuff like this. Because we all know.
somebody,
Hold
somebody,
on, somebody mute the
hold
mic.
on. Somebody mute their mic real quick.
Okay. We gotta be honest here, man. Teofimo Lopez is doing what we say we want fighters to do. He's running up. He's trying to get the fight. Terrence Crawford has shown you that he doesn't want to fight. This is the same thing he did to a guy named Josh Taylor, and people said, "Leave Josh Taylor alone. You can never beat Josh Taylor," and he went in there and dominated him. So I mean, what we seeing is you just find that boxing fans are hypocrites, and who they like, they make excuses for. The thing is, you say you want to see fighters do like the old school. That's an old school thing to do, to walk up to a man doing his ring walk out and say, "Let's fight." but because you don't like him, that makes that less valid. But to be totally honest, it's starting to get disgusting on what we see in the disrespect for Teofimo Lopez, a two-time lineal champion, and one of the original 16 divisions. It's just really getting crazy what's going on right now because Teofimo Lopez is doing exactly what we asked you to do. You want to be great, go dare to be great. You go fight the guy that they say is Goliath. I know a lot of people don't probably never heard of, I went to church or anything, but there's a guy named David who beat Goliath to death. And they said, hey, Dave, you can't beat Goliath. And what did he say? This filthy uncircumcised Philistine can't do anything with us. So what Tio is doing is what we want to see, which is God's work. And that's showing the talent that God blessed him with. And he's trying to fight the best. And anybody who says that they don't want to see him fight the best is a true clown. I mean, because that's what you want to see, the best fight the best. And in a lot of ways, people say that Terrence Crawford is the #2 guy in the world. So what does Tio seem to do when you get in there with the Goliaths or the big guys? He dominates them. Josh Taylor, Lomachenko, in their primes, at their absolute best, at their absolute peaks, goes there and dominates. But go ahead, Boss Scott. I know you got something.
I'm not going to answer that question. So I don't want to contribute to this Tio segment. I'm just going to go to the next question.
No, let my man Boss Scott cook on this.
Prize, before let me pause you right there, Prize, because I'm disgusted. I'm fucking disgusted.
Hey,
Ask me why, Prize. Ask me why I'm disgusted,
Why?
Prize.
Tell him why you mad, son. Tell him why you mad.
Because all I be hearing constantly on his YouTube streets is about the good old days. Man, y'all don't understand. When Roberto Duran was out there fighting everybody and the hot dogs was 10 cents. And I used to get a Frosty and pour my beer inside. The great glory days of boxing. And then when Tio's out there calling it, look, I personally think it's crazy. But I also thought it was suicide when he fought Taylor and he whooped Taylor's ass, bro. Tio is doing exactly what we expect and want out of a fighter, bro. He up there doing what Ali did to Sonny Liston, trolling Bud at his fights, telling Bud he old, telling Bud he'll whoop his ass. I like it, bro. Look, when Tank try to use, and I hate to do this, man. I hate to do this. But when Tank try to use Bud's name for clout, right? We knew it wasn't a realistic fight. We know Tank wasn't going to fight no damn Bud. But he used it, you know what I mean? Said if he touched Bud on his jaw and he cracked him on the jaw, what was going to happen? But it wasn't realistic. Tio actually wants to fight Bud. You got to respect it.
Okay, I hear that. Now, if he really wants to fight Bud, then why his ass still at 140? He need to be moving up in weight if he wants to fight Terrence Crawford, if he quote unquote deserves a fight against Terrence Crawford, because he could hoop hurrah and sell that crap all day. That doesn't mean that he deserves a damn fight, because skill for skill, they're not on the same level. So if he really wants to do that, he needs to be getting out of 140. He should have left 140 already. He really want to move up and fight this man? No, it's no excuse for that.
Because you know why I came by a pack of that Zaza, bro? You know why I came by that shit? Because we sitting here talking about a hypothetical fight between Canelo, who's at 68, and Bud Crawford, who just had one fight at 54. Before he had that fight, he was at 47. He got his undisputed at 47, correct? Everybody was talking about him jumping up 3 weight classes to go fight Canelo, and they're still talking about it. But with Tio, it's, man, it's not realistic. It's unrealistic for it to happen. I'd rather see Tio versus Crawford than Canelo versus Bud.
No, y'all talk about
one of the very few guys that said that fight is not going down, and Bud does nothing for Canelo, and people need to get rid of that wet dream because Canelo ain't fighting him now. They said, oh, he paid the money. If Turkey Island Sheik paid the money. That's a big ass if. Okay, the if ain't here yet. So I ain't going for it. All these dudes with this nonsense, you really want to do something, move up and wait and do something. All this you doing it, you yelling from the other side of the tunnel, man. I ain't trying to hear none of that. Move up and wait and see if you're going to get that fight, man. And people can do that all day.
Like you brought up Roberto Duran. He moved up. He fought everybody. Yeah, Roberto Duran put himself in that weight class. He had 2 fights before he fought Sugar Ray Leonard at that weight class. He moved up. He moved up and fought somebody before he fought Hagler. He moved up and got himself acclimated at those weights. I said, if Tio wants that fight, move up, become Bud's mandatory. Because right now at this point, we already done heard Bud. Bud only won money fights. That does nothing for Bud. You have nothing to offer, but so make yourself his mandatory. If you want that fight that bad, make yourself his mandatory. That's what you do.
And that's just the bottom line. And I don't want to keep
But
going
let me
on and
read.
on
Let me
about
read
this
this real quick. Let me read this real quick
Teal
before we
segment,
move on.
man.
My man Billy said the Teal hate must be a thing. And when I hear my man Crush, go at Teofimo, it does sound like a
Oh my
personal
God.
thing. Because when we talk about that kid from Delaware, Boots Ennis,
Hey
it's
man,
always
stop that nonsense. He's from
What are you
Philly,
talking
man.
nothing,
You
about,
don't stop that
Delaware,
nothing
man?
nonsense,
wrong.
man.
Why do you
He's
do
not
that?
from
You said
Delaware,
what?
man. Stop that nonsense, man. He ain't from Delaware. You know it. So there you go with that
Okay, I wasn't
nonsense
sure. I
again.
wasn't sure. I wanted to make sure.
No, you
But
said that yesterday. You got corrected yesterday. So I guess you got
I,
short term memory. Stop that
I
nonsense. He from
remember.
Philly, man.
But
He from Philly, man.
The thing with Tio is he get a lot of hate because he's daring to be great. And I guarantee you will hear D Free and you will hear people like my man Crush say the same stuff about Muhammad Ali. If Muhammad Ali was trying to fight now, y'all will hear them constantly disparage him, talk bad, and say what he can't do. Because that's what happened when he fought Sonny Liston. Nobody gave him a chance. He said he's from Germantown. Okay, salute to my man Tim Lane. He said he's from Germantown. So he's
I've been
from
telling you
Philly.
that, Tim, but see if he listen to you. See if he listen to
But
you, Tim. I've been
I
telling
don't
this
want to
dude
turn
this,
this show. I
this
don't want to
whole
turn this
time,
show into
man.
the Teofimo Lopez show because he has nothing going on,
Exactly. It's
like
not a
Crush
Theo
said.
show,
Now,
man.
let's move on. We spent like 20 minutes on this guy.
go ahead.
He has nothing going on, and there's a lot of stuff going on in boxing. You got Pitbull Cruz. You got a Rayo fight.
We
You
go to the
got
next
Jared
question, man.
Anderson. You got
The
all
pit
this stuff, and
poodle.
you want to talk about this damn Teo guy.
We go to the
Is
next question. Go
Shakur
to the next question.
Stevenson a threat at 135?
You said who?
Shakur Stevenson a threat at 135?
I would
Is
say
he
he's
a
a
threat at
I would say he's a
135?
threat at 135, but I honestly don't think that we'll get a tank and salute to Ariana and salute to O3. I don't think that we won't I don't think we'll get a fight because I think the thing that I'm seeing when it comes to Shakur is he's more interested in being a what is it called? What is that, X or Twitter star? He's more of a Twitter star than he is a boxer. He does more talking with his thumbs than he does his actual talking. So it's when you talk about a guy like Shakur, he I don't even know if he's a fighter, man. He seemed like more of a tweeter or an influencer. But go ahead, Freddie.
Um, yeah, he's a threat at 35. Um, the problem is who's he the threat for? Because he is a threat, but is he a threat to Tank Davis? Possibly. Is he a threat to to Lomachenko? Yeah. He a threat to Williams Zapata? Yeah. I mean, he's a threat to everybody at 135. It's just a matter of him getting in the ring with those guys. Now he's been avoided by some of those guys. Some of those guys didn't want to get in the ring with him, but there's other
Right.
guys that do want to get in the ring with him. And right now we waiting to find out if it's going to happen. According to Shakur, he said his peoples is talking to Tank Davis team, and they trying to make the fight. They just trying to get the money straight. So if that is true, that what Shakur said, if that is true, then maybe we'll get the fight. So we'll see.
I think that he's a threat at, but I think that he's a threat at 135 for 140, and see, I think that he got room, but I have a 147 fight as well. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, he's a threat.
Uh,
He's a threat to anybody and everybody.
I agree with that.
uh,
Go ahead, Crush.
is he a threat? Uh, yeah, he's a threat. I mean, but now the guys are a threat to each other. Is he a threat? Definitely the 135. Yes, because he can box. He can box. But the whole question is, people, we already know that what the thing is with Shakur Steve. We want to see if he could take a goddamn punch because he ain't get punched. Everybody else got punched. He ain't get punched yet. He's going to get punched, okay? And that's the only question. But yeah, he definitely is a threat. He got hands. He's one of the best skill fighters in the sport right now. Um, how much better he's better than the best? You got to see him get in the ring with him, and they got to get in the ring with him too, also. But yeah, he's definitely a threat.
100% a threat. He can beat any of them guys at 135, including Tank. But he has to be on his A game. He can't make no mistakes. And like Crush said, man, we want to see him get hit. I know it's hit and not get hit. I'm the leader of that. I appreciate that. I appreciate what Shakur do. But when you get in the ring with Tank Davis, you're going to get hit. And the people that's been in the ring with Tank Davis that got hit, they didn't respond very well. So it remains to be seen. But is he a threat to answer your question? 100%. 100%.
Yep, 100%. You'll
And we
be
can move
hated the
on.
same time. Yep. Next question.
Who wins the fight between Shakur and Cepeda?
Let me go first. I
Go
got
ahead.
Shakur beating Zepeda. I got Shakur beating Zepeda. I mean, I get everybody see Zepeda come with the M16 on burst and all that. He throws a lot of shots, but we got to remember this is a guy who is great at making distance. So Shakur can easily have Zepeda looking like Trey from Boys in the Hood, swinging all that shit ain't nothing at nothing, missing everything. So don't get it twisted with that. So it's not about what Shakur can do against Zepeda. That's no question. What is Zepeda going to be able to do against Shakur, and how he's going to neutralize everything that Shakur does? Because we know Shakur has the skill set in the boxing IQ to neutralize everything that Zepeda does. This is why he's a threat to everybody at 135. This is one of the reasons I think it's a great example. Um, so hell yeah, it's about what Zepeda is going to be able to do and not allow Shakur to do. So he'll be swinging at a whole bunch of air. I got Shakur beat me. If Zepeda, as you throw a lot of punches and you miss, you burn out faster. Fuck around and see a late stoppage, the TKO stoppage, man. So I'm gonna leave it at that.
Yeah, but I think that he is a stylistical match-made fighter for Shakur Stevenson. He come forward, he throw a lot of punches, and that's what Shakur wants. And the same with Shakur, he's a counter puncher, and same as Zepeda, he's wild, but he's not sharp. He's strong, but he's not well coordinated. So that's a matchup that Shakur could win on same decision. And possibly, but he get a knockdown, you know?
Yeah, just because the guy's all wild and kind of sloppy with his feet at times. I don't. I mean, the guy he might can beat Shakur. I mean, Shakur. If the guy clocks Shakur because he can punch, if he hit Shakur, Shakur get on his bike and people, the judges and everybody gonna be watching him, man. So he gonna have to do something. But since the guy come forward and throw a lot of wild punches, I think Shakur make him look bad, like Valdez and like what I'm saying, like that. But Shakur could beat him, but Zepeda you can't count him out because he can punch. But I think
Um,
Shakur beats that guy.
yeah.
3.
Um, it's an interesting matchup because I don't think nobody actually looked into the matchup. Zepeda is taller than Shakur, and Zepeda has a longer arm reach than Shakur. Shakur relies on judging distance. Well, if you don't have the arm reach advantage, you can't really judge the distance. You can't rely on that as much because your arms are shorter than the opponent that you're facing. And Williams Zepeda throws a lot of shots. I don't, to be honest with you, I will favor Shakur because I believe he's the better boxer, but
Mm-hmm.
I don't because Zepeda does throw a lot of shots and he does have power. I think Shakur has much better footwork and I think Shakur has better defense, but I don't know. I think it's close to a 50-50 fight because of the size advantage. I mean the size that they are 1 inch difference in height and they're 1 inch difference in arm reach. And we know that, like I said, Shakur relies on judging distance. Well, you got to be much closer to hit him than he got to be to you. So it's not really a distance that he's going to have an advantage on. So I don't know how that fight goes. I would love to see it because it's a lot closer than what I think a lot of people think. I think that fight is a lot closer.
Yeah, you might be right on that
I
one,
see what
D3.
you're saying, D. Great
But
breakdown, D. I can see what you're saying too. With that
yeah,
reach advantage because he threw a lot of punches and because Shakur rely on distance and he's going to be at a inch disadvantage. Um, he's going to spend a lot of time on the outside, and the only way he's going to be able to be effective is on the inside. So he's going to be able to. He's going to have to find a way to break that down and get on the inside. I can see definitely where D3 is coming from. So that was
Yeah, because
a great analysis. Great,
when
yeah, I
Yeah,
see
Shakur,
but
exactly.
you
yeah,
think that was a
because when
Zapata?
Shakur is in range, but see the thing is, when Shakur is in range, so is Zapata, because Zapata has the longer arm reach. So when Shakur is in range to hit Zapata, we know Zapata's going to let his hands go. Shakur, he uses the high guard and he covers up when he's getting firepower back at him, especially with somebody that's a bigger puncher. So when he's in range to throw his shot, William Zapata's going to be throwing combinations. Shakur's going to throw one, one, two, but Zapata's going to be throwing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's really going to come down to who has the whose ring IQ plays a part in that fight. If Shakur ring IQ doesn't play a part in that fight, he can lose that fight badly. If
Yeah,
Zapata
Mm,
ring IQ just
mm,
as good as Shakur,
mhm.
it's gonna be a tough fight. That's why I said I
okay,
want to.
but
Okay,
I
look,
see
let's
exactly what you're
That-
talking about. But like, you got to think about it. But like this, is the Pater accurate enough to land those shots on Shakur Stevenson? Even though he throw a lot of punches, he got to be able to land those punches. So if for Shakur, his first defensive tactic is to cover up, he's doing the right thing because he's gonna be just throwing punches. And same Shakur, his defense is good enough, same to make offense as well. You feel me? But it's not like a feel me, but Santos where when he throw, he's accurate when he's throwing. It was a pity. He's not that accurate. You got to be accurate puncher, but it disturbed saying Shakur Stevenson. Have to
Yeah.
be accurate.
hold
No.
on, Deeper.
See Zapata. Yeah, he might not be as accurate as Shakur is on the punch placement. But the thing is, if you can get your opponent to stop throwing by you throwing, that plays into Zapata's favor because he wants you to not throw because he's going to let his hands go. We know he got a hell of a stamina. He's going to keep throwing. He's not going to stop throwing. He's going to keep throwing. And so if Shakur is not going to throw because Zapata is throwing, then Shakur is going to lose that
That'd
round.
be the only thing about that.
He's going to
All right,
lose
look,
that round.
check this out. I don't want to spend a lot of more time. We got, I don't even know if I want to read through these questions because we haven't talked about anything that just happened except for Terrence Crawford this weekend. There was a lot of other things that went down in boxing that I think we need to discuss.
Let's
So,
go, Prize. Get into it.
yeah, well, I mean, what shocked me the most, I want to hear you crush first. What about that Jared Anderson win? And that, I mean, I'm sorry, the Jared Anderson loss to that Martin
Oh
Bacoli guy.
well.
I like him. He made a fan out of me.
Oh well. Well, if everybody's been tuning in all week, myself was like, this is going to be an upset. I wrote right off of what D3 said. D3 said, man, I could see Anderson going down on his ass bag, dude. He got Affleck. I said, shit, D3, you fuck around and get stopped. And D3 said, I mean that too. So somebody, crystal ball was working. They boxing spider
Mm-hmm.
antennas was tingling, baby, because that was the upset that some people called and it happened. So I'm not really shocked. Like I said, this kid gotta decide if he's gonna be on the inside door or he's going to be on the other side, but he's trying to be a ghost and have half in and half out. You can't do that. You can't play boxing only on the video game. So
Mm-hmm.
I like what he said. His sportsmanship. I was really shocked by his sportsmanship because he's so arrogant. And he said he needs to he made some mistakes and he needs to go back and correct some things. So so by him saying that, let's see how he does when he returns. But this was something that we called, so I ain't
Mm-hmm.
shocked, baby, because we dropped that
Yeah.
in the slot. We dropped it in the slot.
D3, I want to hear you. And then, Jai, you jump in there about Jared Anderson. How you feel about that?
Um, Jared Anderson bit on more than he can chew. He kept calling for the top level fighters. He said he was ready for the top level fighters. where you got in there with somebody who we didn't consider top level at the time, and he sat him down multiple times, and it exposed the holes that we saw that Jordan had when he fought Charles Martin and when he fought
Tell him what he did wrong, Free.
what he did wrong was whenever the puncher was punching, he leaned straight. He leaned straight back. I mean,
Straight back.
not even just with Bacoli, with other fighters as well.
Yeah, Charles Martin, he did it, Free.
Yeah, he would lean straight back, and because he was so much quicker and he had the athleticism, he was able to get away from it. I mean, get away with it. But when he got in there with Martin Bacoli got fast hands. He might not move that much, but his hands is fast, and his hands was faster than Big Baby Anderson reflex. And so when he did that lean back, it left him wide open for a combination, and it sat him down the first time. And then he did it again, and he got caught with a combination, and he came forward and he got caught with an uppercut. Did it a third time, he got sat down again. He did it a third time and got sat down again. I mean, his ring IQ was not that high because
especially when Bacoli did them two straight right hands in a row, he had his head straight up in the air, man.
His ring IQ was not that high. Because after the first round, when he got knocked down the first round, he should have known right then and there. His ring IQ should have kicked in right then and there. I can't stand in the pocket with this dude. I gotta outbox him. He doesn't have footwork like that. I gotta outbox him. I gotta hit and move. Make this man have to reset the entire night. He didn't do that. And that's why I said, I don't know if Big Baby is ready for this fight, because this dude, he can punch, and Big Baby has holes in his defense, and it showed Saturday.
Yep. John, how you feel about Big Baby?
I think that Jared Anderson, he need to learn patience. You feel me? I think he been around same Shakur Stevenson a little bit too long, and same Shakur have too much of an influence on Jared Anderson, because he picked up a lot of his bad habits as well. You know what I'm saying? And I think that if he was able to be a little bit more patient and sit down on his punches and fight like he's a heavyweight, he would have a lot more success. But for me, it was a learning lesson, you know, and hopefully he could bounce back. Now, but this was most definitely a learning lesson for Jared Anderson.
Shout out Kareem. But Crush, you wanted to say something real quick?
No, man, we good on that. What's the next thing we do?
I like the El Rayo. I don't want to call it an upset, but you know, El Rayo went over Pitbull. Because everybody was saying, Pitbull gonna walk the dogs with him. I was like, I don't know, man. Rayo gonna be tough in there. Rayo came out and won the fight, man. I'm happy for him. What you feel like?
Listen, man. I'm happy, man. As y'all can see, y'all know me. I don't like Pitbull. I call him Pitpoodle. The guy got too much credit. Everybody turned him into a star that he's really not. Ain't nothing twinkling but reality right now. Humble down. So what happened with him? He came in as a late placement. Hooray, he didn't get stopped by a tank, but he got outboxed by a guy with an injured hand, and people think he deserves a rematch. Hasn't done anything significant or anything of any value to say this guy is really this dude and he can go do this and do that. He punch hard, and that's all he knows how to do. He don't know how to box. If he can't knock a guy out, he's losing the damn fight. That's just it. He lost to Cabrera. That was a gift card once again. And then he knocks out Rolly. Rolly been knocked out and all this stuff, knocked around town and all this nonsense. And people thought that he actually was not so because of his power, but because we seen El Rayo get knocked out. And a lot of us thought that El Rayo had a glass jaw. That's why we really picked Pitbull, even with his power, to knock out El Rayo. We forgot about everything else in between there. But Rayo, they came out with a good plan. You box that dude. You box him, you keep him on the end of the stick. He don't know how to get around a damn jab. He don't. He just know how to come forward. The only time he come forward is when the guy's hands is back or he ain't doing nothing. But as long as somebody's throwing shit at him, he ain't getting up around nothing unless they too goddamn slow. Um, he was throwing everything with all his damn might. Um, of course, Ryo felt that power, but Ryo didn't get dropped. He was stunned a couple times, and he took that shit on the chin. So I think we owe him some respect for his chin. Some fighters said what happened to him was a fluke when he got knocked out. Um, it happens sometimes, but it didn't happen with this guy that's considered a big puncher. I told y'all that shit wasn't carrying up to
Hey,
140.
hey,
Y'all
man,
didn't
he
want to
cussing too
listen to
much,
me.
brother. I'm sorry, man, for everybody
Yo,
watching.
yo,
Sorry about all the cussing, man. We
yo.
we working on that cussing,
All
man.
right. And
Go ahead, man.
you know, they I don't know what else they thought. So it came to reality, and there it is. Ryo put on a good boxing clinic against a guy who has a low boxing IQ, and that's all you know how to do is try to knock somebody out. And when that don't work, they don't have nothing they skill set or the arsenal. And that's all I got on it. So salute to El Ryo, man. Can't see what he does next against one of the other champions at 140.
Ja.
I think what shocked people the most about El Rayo was that his ability to box and stay disciplined from round 1 to round 12. Because I wasn't
Yeah.
expecting that. I
Good
thought it
point.
was gonna go punch for punch. I thought if he was gonna be sloppy, you know what I'm saying, but come around with a guard, same but Ozzy Pitbull Cruz and probably get clipped. So but he shocked me, but he showed me but something different, and he showed me that he had room but to grow as a fighter, like, mentally and
Yeah.
physically. So for me, but he did his thing. He did his thing. But I gotta give him props. But he did his thing.
I feel like he did his
Yep.
thing too. I like when people were saying he was gonna get smoked. I was like, man, I don't know, man. I'm going with Ryo in the fight because I don't like Pitbull Cruz. And he stuck to his guns and he went out there and won the fight. He's a new champ at 140. He probably secured himself a Tank Davis fight if the Shakur fight can't get done. But D3, how you feel about Ryo's performance? El Ryo.
Um, Arayo, he impressed me because that was the thing about Arayo that I saw in previous fights. He didn't have a lot of defense. His offense was his defense, and he actually showed some footwork and he showed some defense. He was able to keep Pitbull on the outside and keep working that jab, and that's something that he needed to do. The game plan that Robert Garcia put together worked to perfection because he stuck to the game plan and he frustrated Pitbull a lot. He caught him with nasty uppercuts the entire night. I think every uppercut he threw, he landed, and um, Pitbull couldn't deal with that jab and that uppercut when he came on the inside, and it started wearing Pitbull down towards the later rounds. The Pitbull started getting on his back foot, which I'd never seen Pitbull on his back foot at at no point in time in his career, and he put Pitbull on his back foot for a lot, a lot of the later rounds, and
Hmm.
he did a hell of a job. I gotta take my hats off to him. He did a hell of a job. The real question is, can he hold on to the WBA belt? Because it seemed like can't nobody hold on to that WBA belt at 140. They win and then they lose. So we got to see if he can hold on.
Next question,
Okay.
Prize.
Yeah, yeah, that's pretty much how I seen it, man. El Rayo, he did his thing, but is the Canelo versus the Edgar Berlanga, is that fight bad for boxing? Is that bad for Canelo? For since some
Yes.
people say he's top pound for pound.
Yes. Yes. Because Berlinga does nothing for Canelo. And I know a lot of times when fighters said, oh well he didn't do anything, and we say they use it as a escape route, but sometimes it's true. Just like a broken clock is correct twice a day.
Salute to my
Same
brother
thing
D. Salute to
with this
Kareem.
situation. Berlinga hasn't did anything. He got up there politically, does nothing for Canelo. I'm kind of not feeling Canelo taking this fight because we all wanted to see him go against Benavidez or anybody. better than Berlanga, who doesn't deserve to fight. I mean, I give him credit for fighting Jaime Magia over Berlanga. I think Jaime Magia was more so deserving than Edward Berlanga. So I'm not feeling this fight. And I ain't got nothing else to say, man. I'm gonna be nice. I'm gonna be nice, but I
Well,
ain't feeling.
let me be that person. I think that Berlinga could beat Canelo. For me, but I wasn't thinking that before. But ever since the fight happened and I seen them stand face to face, and for me, but I look back at a few of for me Edgar fights, I think that he have the potential of beating Canelo Alvarez, and especially with Canelo being aged up, but to where he is now, for me, but especially being in the ring, for me, I think that everybody may but clown that fight now, but I think when but the bell ring, everybody is gonna be tuned in, and we may have an upset. Come September
Okay,
14th, we may have an upset.
okay, sounds good.
Yeah,
Sounds
Yeah,
I
good
don't
to
like
me.
this fight.
the Berlanga fight does something for Canelo resume. I mean, his legacy, resume, whatever you want. It brings it down. That's what it does. Berlanga doesn't deserve this
It brings
goddamn
the
fight.
property value down, right, D for it.
But Berlanga doesn't deserve this fight. He didn't do nothing to get this fight, and it just shows that Canelo is a duck. You decided to take Berlanga over David Benavidez, over David Morrell. You could have picked William Score. You could have picked daggone Chris Mabili. You could have picked anybody else at 168 pounds that deserved the fight. You pick somebody who literally does not deserve the fight. And we're gonna see the same thing we seen with Big Baby Anderson. They
Mm.
Berlinga is gonna get in there and he's gonna get stopped. He's gonna get stopped. Berlinga has the same holes that Big Baby Anderson has. He pulls straight back and he brings his guards down when he throwing his shot. Canelo is a hell of a counter puncher. He waits for you to make the
Yes.
mistake. He wants you to come at him. That's what he wants. He wants you to come at him. When you come at him, he's going to use his upper body movement and he's going to catch Berlinga. We already know Berlinga doesn't have the strongest chin. We seen him get dropped. He lost to Steve Rose.
Yeah,
So we
Right.
I mean
he
Berlinga's
should
going
But
to
have.
get.
but then
He
but
should have
then
lost.
we gotta think about it, the type of shot and selection that Canelo has. But Canelo don't throw a lot of straight rights down the pipe. But he don't really use his jab unless he trying to go to the body and for me trying to go behind the guard or he's throwing an uppercut. But I don't think that he's gonna really be able to land the uppercut on Berlanga, and I know that he's not gonna use his straight right nor really use his jab. And if he do use his jab, it's to set up punches. So for me, no.
He's going to do what he's always do. He's going to go to Berlinga's body, wear him down, make Berlinga stand right in front of him, and he's going to stop him. He's going to do what he always do.
Yeah,
Berlinga goes into the
I don't
high
have
guard.
any faith
He's
in
going he
Berlinga.
going to hit him in the shoulders. He's going to hit him in the
Hmm.
shoulders. No, he's going to do what he
Yeah.
always do. Berlinga is not
Shout
seasoned
out to
enough for
homie Big Dre.
Canelo. He's not seasoned enough for Canelo. He hasn't been in there with nobody to prepare you for a Canelo. Nobody he's fought will prepare you for a Canelo. There's
Right,
fighters
but
that
I
he can
agree.
fight to prepare him for Canelo, but he hasn't fought any of those guys. I
Yeah,
think
But
I
at
don't
I
this
even.
agree
I don't
with
even
you.
know how he got
But
the.
I agree
They
with
said
you.
he's a WBA #1 mandatory. That's what they said. But I mean, Canelo Alvarez, this is bad for him. People,
no,
BVO
at this
calls him pound for pound #1.
no,
But so if you the pound for pound #1 fighter in the world, why is you not fighting the people they want to see you fight? Why is you fighting a Berlanga? Why? Shout out Big Dre. Shout out Boxing Gym. Why you fighting them people? Like
no.
Berlanga, like I don't know what he. I don't even. Well, I ain't gonna say I don't know how because the WBA didn't do anything. So he's the #1 contender. He's the mandatory. So that's what they're running with. In the press conference, I tapped in a little bit. It was just so corny
He's
with
not the
the crowd.
mandatory.
I thought they said he was a mandatory or he was a
No,
mandatory for the WBA. That's what they said in the press conference. Don't
no,
shoot the
he's
messenger.
not. He's not the mandatory.
They're saying Eddie Hearn or one of them said that he was the mandatory. I don't care if he is or he isn't. He don't deserve the fight anyway. He should be fighting Benavidez. He should be fighting Benavidez and or rematch Bivol. I mean, I
Yeah,
don't know what else
I
Canelo
mean
need to be doing.
he's not the mandatory because the fight wasn't ordered. There's no way you could show me where that fight was ordered.
Well,
Now
he could. That could be right. That could be very true, Free. But today, the WBA can wake up and change all that stuff around, bro.
they can't change it. It's already the fight is already done. They're not gonna mandate the fight now. It's already done. They
But
don't
you
Yeah,
gotta
mandate.
look at it
I'm
like
just telling you. I'm just telling you what they said at the press conference.
No,
They
I,
announced
I
him as a
understand what you're saying.
WBA
But the fight is already
mandatory.
done. That fight was never ordered. He's not the
Yeah,
man.
yeah, I hear you. I'm with
I
you. I
mean,
ain't
but
even
I
gonna play
understand
devil's
that. But
advocate.
Canelo, he got some strong capabilities, and we all know but Canelo's strengths. But at the same time, we have to look at Edgar Berlanga's strengths as well. He got a great jab, a power jab at that, and I think that jab is enough to say disrupt Canelo's timing. If you're able to disrupt say Canelo's timing, then you're gonna have a success. That's how Bivol beat him, and that's how I think Edgar potentially beat Canelo. You know what I'm saying? With his power jab, he's going to be able to come behind it and not let Canelo get in as much as he would with his other
Hey,
opponents.
BVO Crush backstage. Um,
Free, you want to rebuttal that? Because I see you over there shaking your head about
no,
what Jai was
his
saying
his,
about Belanga's jab.
his jab his jab is no, his jab is not that. It's not that. Canelo Canelo's going to wait for him to throw that jab, and he's going to counter it. He's going to counter it the entire night. I'm telling you. He now if he had a jab similar to Bivol, which it was an educated jab, then that would be one thing. But it's not. He's not that dude. I understand y'all want to pull for him and all that. Y'all want him to beat him, but he's not. He's not
I
that
want
dude.
him to win. I want
Same
him
Like,
to
as
beat
not
him, but
that, but I want him to beat him. I just would think that he
nah,
is capable of beating a Canelo.
no, he's not.
You feel me?
I
Hey,
at this point right now, I don't think Belinga beats McGear. I don't think
Hmm.
Belinga beats McGear. No, he's not that
Uh,
dude.
yo,
He's
well,
not.
I think
McGee, but it's not
Belinga
a
can. I don't
Canelo.
have no faith in Mengia. I think people. I mean, I think Belinga might can get him, but I don't know though, man. Belinga be getting dropped, man. I don't know.
No, I'm telling you, you're gonna see Belinga get dropped once again, and you're gonna see Belinga get stopped for the first time in his career. The same way we
Yo,
saw Big Baby.
he
same,
do
but I
got
don't think
cracks.
so. I don't
He do
think so.
got cracks
I
though.
don't think
Go
so.
ahead, Jai. Why? Tell him why.
I don't think so. I think that if Belinga he have what it takes to beat a Canelo right now.
No,
You know what I'm saying? If
and
I look at the
that's
size difference, but I look at the way that he fighting, I think that Belinga he gonna come out a little bit different and same a little bit more established in this fight because he know the magnitude of this fight.
that's
I
Because
do
another
like
thing.
like I said,
Berlinga's
he
personality. He does talk that.
That's,
He talk that ish, and he act like I ain't saying he from the streets or nothing like that, but Berlinga's more likable than Canelo, so I am rooting for him. But I do want to. He does have his jab is okay, but I'm with Free. I think he gonna get countered with right hands or something, man. The Canelo might beat
and
his
but
arms and
Canelo
his
but don't
body.
throw Canelo do not throw right hands down the pipe. For
he
me,
ain't
he
got to
No,
throw
throw
it down the pipe.
and he
he can
throw
do
but
them.
around the
He can throw a
He
guard.
don't have
looping
to
one.
throw it down
He
the
can throw
pipe.
a looping one. Yeah, I think his looping right hand will be. You know what I think Edgar Berlanga's destruction gonna be the uppercut. I think that's gonna be bad between the body shots and the uppercut. It's gonna be an uppercut that probably do it.
That's
You
if
know what I mean?
he's on the ropes.
No, and
Yeah.
that's another thing too. Belinga's never been on this stage. That plays a major factor. He's going to be on the biggest stage of his entire career, and that man is going to get up there. And once that bell rings and that heat gets turned up, he
And he
going
got
he going
Canelo on
to
the other
fold.
side of the ring.
He
What if
going to
but
fold.
Canelo? What if but Canelo is overlooking Edgar Berlanga?
I don't think he's overlooking because he ain't looking for nobody else.
Right.
He ain't looking for nobody else.
Yeah, no
He ain't
doubt.
overlooking him. Belinga
He
might be
passed
overlooking.
Belinga, but
Belinga might be looking at the money. He like, oh yeah, I'm about to get paid. That's what he looking at.
he
But
probably think
Canelo
about all
like,
the
man, I'm
stuff
about
he
to knock
gonna
this
do.
dude out.
Belinga probably think about all the chains and Rolls Royces and houses he finna cop. He probably head ain't in the game. He probably about to get like 3 million, 4 million. You know what I'm saying?
Man, I think that we in for an upset.
I hope
I was
so.
saying the
I hope
same
so,
thing y'all
Josh.
was saying before, but my mind changed. I think that
I
we in
hope
for an
so.
upset.
Nah, I
All
mean
right.
Canelo used to fighting against taller guys. Canelo's ain't number 5'8". Most of the guys he fought was taller than him when he moved up. Most of everybody that he fought was taller than him. He used to fighting tall guys. So the height ain't a problem. He fought guys that outweighed him. That's not a problem. So he's used to all of the factors that Belinga could possibly try to use against Canelo. He's used to all of those. I'm telling you, Belinga's not seasoned enough. There's one
That's
thing.
what I think it all boils down
It's
to. I don't
one
think he
thing
got
when
no
we saw Demetrius Bivol, I saw something in Demetrius Bivol. That's why I picked him to win. I said, "Hey, dog, this dude got skills." Belinga is not that dude. It's not that I see from Belinga that I say, "Okay, yeah, this is gonna be a problem for Canelo." The only chance he got, and that's not even a chance, because Canelo got a beard. He got a big punch, but Canelo has a beard. He don't have a shot to win this
Yeah.
fight.
Hey, but we'll see. But we'll see. But
I'm
so
not
I
gonna say he
think
doesn't
that.
have a shot to win the fight,
Hey,
but I don't think that he will.
And it's not like Canelo's old. Canelo's 34. He ain't
but
old.
he's
Yeah.
old boxing wise. He's
He got a
old
lot of
boxing wise.
he got a lot of miles on that
He ain't
tank,
look
but
old the last couple of fights he had. He ain't look old. That man went in there and beat Charlo down. He went in there and put daggone Jaime McGee on his ass for the first time. He didn't look old in neither one of those fights.
he definitely didn't.
His movement slowed
I'm
down,
talking,
but he's not as but
I'm talking
defensive.
about
But
the
he's not
movement.
trying to get out the way by other punches. But he's not trying to really move. He's trying to catch and counter. So I mean, but that's it. That's what Canelo's style now. Canelo, he used to be real defensive, slip, move. But no, now he catch, shoot, catch, shoot.
And do you think Belinga is slick enough for Canelo?
So I think that he could probably beat him on points now, but I don't think that for me, but he
Not
gonna
happening.
knock
He
out
will
because
never beat Canelo on points.
That's not gonna happen, Joe.
hey,
I
all
He
guarantee
will
right,
you
all
that.
never
right,
beat
all
Canelo
right.
on points.
All right, hey, look, for me, but I smell an upset, bro.
All
For
right, I
some,
hope you're right.
hey,
Don't, I'm gonna tell you like this. Don't bet on it. You losing that one.
Yeah, you might
You
lose that
might
one.
win every fight on that card except for that one. Except
Check
for
this
that one.
out, D Free. Who's
Go
the
to the next
bigger
question.
clout chaser? Who's the bigger clout chaser, Shakur or Keyshawn?
Oh, I have to say Keyshawn. I have to say Keyshawn.
You think
Shakur,
so?
yeah, Shakur is calling out fighters that he can actually fight. Like he wants the Lomachenko fight. He can he if he's telling the truth, his team is in talk to get in the Tank Davis fight. So he's not speaking unrealistic. He's actually calling for fights that he can get. Keyshawn is calling for fights that he hope he can get. He ain't really his name is bigger because they project his name out there. They put his name out there, but his level of fighting is not is not there for him to get those fights. Like he wants to get in there with a Tank Davis. He gets in there with a Tank Davis right now. He's going to sleep. He's shying away from guys like Andy Cruz that's been calling him out. Why are you not trying to get that dude? That dude beat you what 3 times, 4 times? No,
Yeah.
4 times in the amateurs. He beat that man 4 times. Why are you not trying to get that fight? That man said, I want Keyshawn. Keyshawn was talking. I want him. Keyshawn like, man, I don't have to fight that dude. I'm above that dude. I don't have to fight him. Nigga, you got 11 fights. That man got 4. Got separated by 7 fights. That man knocked out his last 2 opponents.
Not
And
to mention Cruz got a ton of experience in the
yeah,
ring.
you saying this man was pillow fisted? Well, he knocked out his last 2 opponents. He don't look pillow fisted. He knocked out his last 2 opponents. So I mean, but yeah, I would say Keyshawn. Keyshawn's been talking a lot about fighters that he really not trying to get in the ring with, or he can't get in the ring with right now. Now, I mean, if they want to put him in, I mean, if they want to take the fight, they'll be stooping down to Keyshawn's level. Keyshawn is not on their level. He's not in position to fight Tank Davis right now. So Tank Davis will have to go down and skip over some people to get a Keyshawn Davis fight. So yeah, I would say Keyshawn is the biggest clout chaser right now.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, but I think
Good.
that the Keyshawn Davis, he got all right, but it'd be a clout chaser because his style back it up. You know what I'm saying? You know, once you put Keyshawn Davis inside the ring, you know that's gonna be a great fight, and he's gonna bite down on his mouthpiece and show what he's made of, and he's got the heart. So Yeah, B is a cloud chase, but at the same time, I think that he would deserve better B because he trying to get his name out there because he deserves for his name to be up there.
Hmm.
Crush.
What was the
Who's the
question
biggest?
again?
Who's the biggest clout chaser, Keyshawn or Shakur?
Keyshawn. Keyshawn is the biggest cloud chaser right now. Um, he just got in the game not too long ago, and he's reaching out too far. He should stay in his lane right now. Build up his career sheet, and if he become a phenomenon to where he's a must see guy against a guy like a Tank or whoever on those upper levels, then so be it. But right now, he's not on those guys' levels, and he need to worry about the guys that he's close to. They're in the same region as far as level and skill set. That's what he needs to worry about. Um, that's one thing I found wrong with these guys. They always looking too far ahead where your career is nowhere near there. You have to get through some places to get other places. So he's the biggest clout chaser, man. It's an easy question.
Yeah, T. Keyshawn, man. I don't know. I'll move on. Will Emilio Vargas punish Keyshawn Davis for his disrespect?
Um, that remains to be seen. A lot of people talk about it and look at Emiliano, and he's looking like he's the apple don't fall too far from the tree. We're having some of the same attributes that his daddy had. But I mean, Keyshawn, I think he has the sharper IQ, so that remains to be seen, man. I would like to see that fight, but to be honest with you, I would
Yeah.
favor Keyshawn over him right now. I think Keyshawn is school him.
Yeah. Vargas, he's not ready for Keyshawn just yet. Um, there's like the last fight that I seen him in. Yeah, he got the stoppage, but he was getting hit with shots that he shouldn't get hit with. If that's somebody like Keyshawn Davis, Keyshawn is going to exploit that. And Keyshawn, regardless of how we feel about how Keyshawn talk, Keyshawn can box. He can box, and he got some power with his shots. Keyshawn could turn up on Vargas and show that he's not ready for this level of fighting just yet. He still got a ways to go. He's definitely a prospect that's on notice, but he's just what it is. He's a prospect. He's not a contender yet. So he still got some things he got to work on. But I wouldn't mind seeing it. I just think Keyshawn probably stops him because I see the holes in his game that Keyshawn can exploit. So I wouldn't mind seeing it, but yeah, I will pick Keyshawn for the stoppage in that fight.
I gotta agree with the same with D3, but I see the Keyshawn Davis stopping if Vargas. If Vargas, he got a lot of heart to throw a lot of punches, but at the same time, he's not ring savvy yet.
Yeah,
So but I have to go with D3 on that.
yeah.
Yeah, I like Keyshawn in
Watch.
that fight. Vargas is still a little green to me. He got a little ways to go. Keyshawn, I know, don't got that many fights himself, but Keyshawn
Show
has proved
watches
himself
him, man.
over. He proved himself over and over and over again. So yeah, I like Keyshawn to go ahead and
He'll
whoop
wash
that
him.
kid, man.
I think he's showing a
Yeah,
wash him.
yeah.
It'll be a boxing clinic for sure. Hands
Look,
down.
listen. Look, I got a question for you. Why aren't the Crawford fans embarrassed? Basically, why the fans not embarrassing Crawford?
Why his fans not embarrassing him?
That's what it says. Why are the fans not embarrassing Crawford?
Um,
Because
go ahead. You can start first.
Go
Go
ahead,
ahead.
Ja. Go ahead, Ja.
Go ahead,
Set it
John,
up.
you got it.
Sam, his fans are not embarrassed because that fight, it didn't make Bud look no type of way, but he didn't look older, but he didn't look like he lost a step. But that was just a stylistical matchup. that gave him problems. Anybody who is athletic, jumping up and down, not just but lunging in, that is a problem for Bud either way. So for me, it was a great fight in Bud, but he came out and he did what he had to do in the later rounds, and that's just what Bud Crawford do. He know when to turn it up. He know when to fight. He know when but to go for the win. So for me, but I wouldn't say yeah. For me, his fans, for me, shit, they coolin', you know.
Yeah. I don't think his fans is embarrassed for him, but his fans are definitely quiet because they know that wasn't the that wasn't a Bud type fight that they used to seeing. So they might not be embarrassed, but they definitely are quiet.
Yeah, they treading real lightly. Especially some of them outlandish Bud channels. Just ridiculous. I ain't see one video from them, but like I said, after that Earl and Bud fight was over, a lot of channels was gonna die, and they did. So, but yeah, I mean that's pretty much all my questions. Y'all got anything else y'all
For
want
me,
to cook
about
on?
yeah, because like for me, you just gotta think about when Bud fought Sean Porter, right? And you seen the first 5 rounds of that fight. Sean Porter was beating up on Bud Crawford. You know what I'm saying? He was landing shots, flush shots, clean shots, and he was able to get out the way from Bud Crawford. You feel me? And Sean Porter, he was not at his peak, nor at his best, nor in the best of shape. So
That was
Majimov,
podcast Porter.
yeah, and saying, but Majimov, he's younger, he's more in shape, he's more athletic, and he got that same style that Bashawn Porter have, just more European. You know what I'm saying? And he just got great qualities as a fighter, and it showed in that fight with him and Bud. So, you know, it was more like a 60-40 matchup, same but my odds.
All right,
Yeah.
cool. That's what's up. All right, so that's our time for tonight. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna pass it over to the Rise podcast. So man, y'all go tap in over there. Shout out to BVO Boxing, shout out to Free, Crush the Legend, the homie Ja. Everybody in the chat, man. O3 North, Big Dre, Boxing Gym, Ariana, the Queens, Melanin Queen, everybody that come through to support us, man. Appreciate y'all, man. We turn it over to the Rise.
We out.
See you tomorrow.